Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Capital G here with another EDH deck tech for you. No, I am not brought to you by anything Google sells, but can't avoid the advertisements on the internet these days. So let's talk about something a bit more important than Google, and that is our commander for this deck. EDH Elder Dragon Highlander. Or should we say EDH Elder Dinosaur Highlander. Etali Primal Storm. We're talking a 6/6 for 6 mana. Whenever she attacks, exile the top card of each player's library. That's yours as well as your opponent's. And then you may cast any number of non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. So mono red doesn't get to do blue things or green things or black things or white things very often, but whenever Etali swings, she has the opportunity to do just that. Of course, being a 6/6 for 6 with no built-in haste is a little bit slow, and I don't want to wait a full turn of the table to swing, so that's why we have things like Battle Rampart, Fleet Feather Sandals also giving flying. We have In the Web of War and Odapek Huntmaster. Got Lightning Greaves. Like all of these enable haste. Odapek Huntmaster has the added bonus of giving us a reduction on our casting of Etali. In the Web of War, of course, the 2/0 power boosts when attacking. Strider Harness. 1 mana to give +1/+1 and haste. Yeah, it's 3 to play, but only the 1 mana to equip. So, sneaky little common here. Swift Boots. Equip 1. Hexproof and haste. Basalt Monolith. 3 colorless. Yes, you have to pay 3 mana to untap it, but we're casting a lot of spells for free, so hopefully we'll have the mana to untap it if we use this early. Burnished Heart. 3 in sack. Search our library for 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, so not only does it ramp us, but it pulls lands out of our deck so we get to the juicy stuff faster. Cage Shun, of course, to a mana doubler for us. Rename red, of course. Fire Diamond, taps for red. Inspiring Statuary. Now, we're not playing a color intensive deck here, so being able to play this to turn all our equipment into a mana rock for us for the purpose of casting our non-artifact spells seems really good. Mana Vault, of course. Araska Relic. Tap sack for colorless, or sorry, tap for colorless or tap sack for 3 life in a card once we have the City's Blessing. Useful rock for the late game. Soul Ring, Sisei's Ring for colorless mana. Again, we're not color intensive, so we can play these. Sword of the Animist. Pulls basic lands out of our deck every time we attack, not to mention that +1/+1 boost. Unstable Obelisk. Sacrifice to destroy target permanent. Costs 7 to do it, but at least we can blow up whatever we want with this thing. Urgolem's Eye, another rock that gives us 2 colorless mana. And Vessel of Volatility. 2 to play, 2 to use, gives us 4. It's just enough that we can, in concept, get Etali out 2 turns sooner. So that's why I have this one-shot enchantment here. A few combat tricks now to make sure that we can bring Etali home after we swing with her. Alchemist's Vial comes in, gives us a card. We can also sacrifice the vial, make sure that target creature cannot attack or block, so this can be used offensively or defensively. I prefer to use this to take any blocker that could conceivably kill Etali out of the equation. Claws of Alaket for the 1/0 and giving her the 1/0 for every mountain we control and providing first strike on an enchant creature. Cosmotronic Wave shoots down a bunch of tokens and makes creatures your opponents control unable to block. Downhill Charge. This is a 1-shot plus X+0, where X is the number of mountains we control. It has the nice added feature of being able to sacrifice a mountain rather than paying its casting cost if this card is in our hand. So you can tap out, swing, and no one will know that we have this until we sack a mountain and give Etali the boost. Dragon Mantle. Fire Breathing plus a card draw. So this makes the original Fire Breathing totally obsolete. Key to the City. Tap, discard a card. Up to one target creature can't be blocked this turn. That seems really good to me, especially when that one creature that can't be blocked this turn is Etali. And whenever Key to the City becomes untapped, we can pay 2 to draw a card. Now here's a cool interaction. Key to the City with Inspiring Statuary. All of a sudden we can tap the key to cast one of our non-artifact spells and pay 2 for the card draw without having to discard any. Renegade Tactics. Target creature can't block this turn, draw a card. Again, like the Vial, taking a key blocker out of the equation. Rile deals damage to a creature we control, but that creature gains trample, and we get to draw a card. Combo's better with some of the Ixalan dinosaurs, but we're not playing too many of those. In fact, the only Ixalan dinosaur we're playing with is Etali herself. She does have some friends in high places, though, as we're about to see. Savage Beating. We can only play it during our turn and only during combat, but we can choose to have all our creatures gain double strike, or we can untap all our creatures and gain an additional combat phase. Now, if we cast this spell for free with Etali, we're probably going to want that second mode, untapping all our creatures and gaining an additional attack phase. Or combat phase, as it were. But if we cast it from our hand, we'll use the Entwine. We don't want to play it for 5 from our hand, we want to play it for 7. So it's either free or 7. If we play for 7, we get both the double strike and the extra combat step. Seismic Shift, destroy a land. Up to 2 target creatures can't block this turn. Nasty, nasty card. We hit this one for free, or even if we cast it, it's only 4 mana to cast this. Seize the Day. Untap target creature and gain an additional combat phase. So it costs 4 mana to do this, or free if we use Etali, but this flashback for 3. This is what makes this card absolutely amazing. So just with Etali hitting this card, or even just having enough mana to do it. Etali, attack, seize the day, attack again, flashback, attack again. That's 3 attacks. That's 3 cards off of everyone's decks that we're casting for free. Temur Battle Rage. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn. They also gain trample if I control a creature of power 4 or greater. Etali seems like a pretty good target for this. I have other options though, but why not Etali? Whisper Cell Cloak. This might be a reason why not Etali, because we want to make her unblockable and untargetable. Shroud means we can't target it ourselves, but really the only reason we want to target Etali with our own spells is to give her a buff and help her survive combat, but she's always going to survive combat as long as this is equipped to her, so nothing to worry about here. Battlehorn, a 4/3 beater, also happens to destroy an artifact when it comes into play, so let's keep that there. Chaos Warp. Any permanent that we don't like, shuffle into the library. Yes, our opponent will get something else in exchange, but in theory, whatever they get off the Chaos Warp is worse than what we're using it on. From the Ashes. Destroy all non-basic lands. For each land destroyed this way, each controller searches their library for a basic land card and puts it onto the battlefield. So if our opponents just happen to be running a deck of all non-basic lands, well, they're hooped and that's their fault. As for us, you'll see our land base soon. We're not playing a lot of non-basics, so this has almost no effect on us. Some of our opponents might lose some of their color fixing, but as long as they're responsible and they're playing some basic lands, they'll be fine. So this is, I feel, a fair EDH land destruction card. Ingot Chewer, we can evoke it for 1 or pay its full cost of 5 for a 3/3 creature that destroys an artifact. Jaws of Stone, yes, it costs 6 mana, but With Etali, we're hoping to hit this for free, and we're going to have a bunch of mountains in play. So dealing X damage divided as we choose amongst any number of target creatures or players, where X is the number of mountains we control. Rite of Ruin. This is devastating to every board state I've played this on. Choose an order for artifacts, creatures, and lands. Each player sacrifices 1 permanent of the first type, 2 of the second, and 3 of the third. Devastating card. Entire board states are redefined by this card. Volcanic Vision. Return an instant or sorcery card from our graveyard to our hand and deal damage equal to that card's converted mana cost to each creature our opponents control. Every creature our opponents control taking 4, 5, 6, 7 damage off this thing. How sweet is that? Especially when we land this for free. Chaos Wand. It's another way of casting our opponent's instants and sorcery spells. It's a nice little on-theme card. 4 to activate. And our opponent keeps flipping cards from the top of their deck till they hit an instant or sorcery, and then we may cast it. Dual Caster Mage. 3 mana, flash in, and copy any instant or sorcery that happens to come up. We can also use Mirari to copy any spell that we cast. Doesn't matter who the spell initially belonged to, as long as we're hitting it with Etali's trigger or casting it from our hand. We just happen to have the extra mana floating around. Let's use it to double the spell. Stolen Strategy. Another way of us casting our opponent's cards. The difference is with Stolen Strategy, any cards that we exile with this, we have to pay full price for, but I don't know, I like to see it as at the beginning of your upkeep, draw 2 to 4 cards. Draconic Resonator. Copies a triggered ability we control. Let's copy Etali's trigger, or sometimes the Stolen Strategy trigger. Ugin's Nexus. That has another trigger we like to copy. If a player would begin an extra turn, that player skips that turn instead. So, none of those blue shenanigans. However, we can find a way to blow up our own Ugin's Nexus, then we get the extra turn. 2 extra turns if you manage to copy it with the Draconic Resonator. Done that once. That's a pretty crazy setup, but it happened. Wild Ricochet. Copy a spell. So choose new targets for a spell, copy the spell, and you may choose new targets for that copy. A lot of people use this as red counter magic, actually. Pretty sweet card. A few cards here to keep opposing creatures off our backs. Aether Membrane. 3 mana for 0/5. Can block as though it had flying. And any creatures that it blocks are returned to its owner's hand. Very unusual effect in red, I would think, but a nice one that we are happy to have here. Disrupt the Quorum. Goad all creatures you don't control, forcing our opponents to attack each other with everything they've got. And remember, they have to attack each other, so as long as you have more than one opponent and you goad them with this, you're basically sitting pretty because nobody is touching you until after your next turn. Excellent, excellent spell. Inferno Titan. Of course, 6/6 giant. We all know what this does. A long-time staple here in our format. Reforge, a nice way of refilling our hand. This and Staff of Nin. Staff of Nin, of course, letting us draw an extra card in our upkeep. Reforge's Soul basically being a Wheel of Fortune that we can cast for 5 mana or 2 mana, or thanks to Etali, 0 mana. Stalking Vengeance, whenever a creature is put into a graveyard from play, a creature that we control, of course. It deals damage equal to its power to target players, so helping us with the most important aspect of the game, and that is player elimination. Now for some of Etali's friends. This is the dream, right here. Dragonstorm. It says 9 mana, search your library for a dragon permanent card and put it onto the battlefield. But it has Storm. How would you like to swing with Etali, hit this at the top of your deck, and say at least 2 other spells. All of a sudden you've got 3 dragons, 4 dragons hitting the battlefield at no mana cost to you. Of course, alternatively, you can have 9 mana and a Dragonstorm in your hand, cast 3-4 spells with Etali's attack trigger, and then cast this. Either way, we don't play a lot of dragons, but we play a lot of the best ones in mono red. A Dragon Mage to help to wheel everybody's hands every time it deals combat damage to an opponent. Furyborn Hellkite for that Bloodthirst 6. So how about a 12/12 flyer? I like that idea. Horde Smelter Dragon blows up artifacts, gives itself a power boost. It's a fun little way of blowing up your Ugin's Nexus. Just you already have him on the board, you attack, you pay 4, blow up your Ugin's Nexus, deal 9 damage to your opponent, and get an extra turn. I like it. Laughless, of course, whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a 5/5 dragon. And it gives all your dragons, like, pay 2, get 1/0 to all your dragons. So, yeah, how would you like the Dragonstorm? You get, say, her, this, and maybe the Morton Dragon. And the way that stacks up, I see at least 5 dragons off that one Dragonstorm. That's what this deck is about. Skyline Despot, because I like the Monarch mechanic. I'm a huge fan of it. Don't see it often enough. And if you start your turn and you're still the Monarch, you get another dragon token. With Vera Hellkite, whenever a dragon you control attacks, you get another dragon. And a Spawn of Thraxus, it enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to the number of mountains you control to any target creature or player, and I'm pretty sure this can also hit planeswalkers. So any target. So yeah, not a lot of dragons, but they are hugely impactful. So yes, Dragonstorm into 2, 3, 4 of these guys. I love it. For our mana base, Evolving Wilds, Ghost Quarter, we've got a Homeward Path. It seems weird to put a Homeward Path in this deck, except for the fact that I don't want the blue player stealing our Etali and keeping it. That's what this is here for. We're rocking 30 mountains because we don't need non-basics so much in this deck. The ones we do have in Myriad Landscape, we also have Terramorphic, a Smoldering Creator to cycle, and we're rocking a Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle as well. Perhaps the only non-basic land that we want to insist on keeping in play if we can. So with that being the cards I have in my deck, let's see what EDH Rec suggests. Actually, before we do, let's have a quick look at the approximate price. They're saying $153 for a deck like this. Again, that's probably mostly because of the Mana Vault. Very easy to bring this price down again, of course. I went with a dragon theme, of course, but if you insist on going, say, the multiple combat step theme, I'm only playing 2 cards that grant extra combat steps, but there are more to choose from. And a lot of Etali players like to go that route. EDH suggestion. So let's see what EDH Rec suggests for us. Vandal Blast to destroy all the artifacts we don't control. Fun little option. We don't necessarily need that, but it's not a bad choice. Blasphemous Act, of course, a good board wipe. I kind of want to keep Etali in play whenever possible, so I'm not so sold on this. Mind Stone, excellent mana rock, why not? Solemn, Sad Robots. Yes, I fully agree with this. And oh, why didn't I think of this? I need to get one. Helm of the Host. I'm gonna have to order in a few of these. I don't actually own a Helm of the Host yet. Should probably get on that. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a token that's a copy of equipped creature, except the token isn't legendary. And that token gains haste, so swinging in with 2 Etalis. 3 Etalis if they manage to stick around. That is... Mind equals blown. I love this pick. I have to add this in. Hedron Archive, I can probably replace my Sisei's Ring with this. Ruby Medallion, I'm going to say no. I play too many artifacts to make this really worth my while. Thran Dynamo. If I'm replacing my Sisei's Ring already, then I can, in concept, replace my Urgolem's Eye with the Thran Dynamo. Hanweir Battlements, a land that grants haste and comes in untapped. Yeah. Of course, if I'm playing Hanweir Battlements, I'm likely playing its Hanwar Garrison as well. And Heimer of Perforos, of course, grants all our creatures haste, so yes, this is a great choice too. So I agree with most of these. The only other card I would suggest that I didn't put in, and that isn't here on EDH suggestions, perhaps this deck is actually a legitimate home for a top, a Sensei's Divining Top. But I don't have one, so I don't play one, and EDH Rec, for whatever reason, did not suggest one. I would definitely play top over Ruby Medallion in this deck if that is an option for you. So yeah, so this is my take on Etali. I call it Etali the Dragon Keeper because the dream is Etali hitting Dragonstorm. Hope you all liked. Hope to getting tired. It's my sort of third take on this. But I hope you like my take on this deck, and I will see you all again next time.